Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely practical technique that is going to make artificial intelligence work so much better for your everyday tasks. Seriously, if you've ever used a language model and just feel kind of underwhelmed by what it spit out, well, this concept is absolutely going to change how you interact with AI. Because we've all been there, right? You ask an AI to write an email, maybe summarize a report, or just brainstorm some ideas, and what you get back is, well, it's just bizarre. It's way too formal, the formatting is a mess, or it literally just misses the whole point. So why does the AI sometimes completely miss the mark? I want you to think of the AI like a brilliantly smart, super enthusiastic, but totally literal intern who just walked into your office on day one. If you hand that intern a task with zero context, zero background, and zero examples of what you actually want, they're going to guess. And honestly, their guess is almost never going to match the picture you have in your head. In the AI world, we call that approach zero-shot prompting. It's basically the equivalent of asking a total stranger to bake you a cake, but you don't give them a recipe. I mean, sure, they might make a cake, but it could end up being a savory meat cake when you really wanted chocolate. But then you have few-shot prompting. This is like showing that same stranger 3 really clear, high-quality photos of the exact chocolate cake you want, showing the frosting style, the decorations, the whole shebang. You'd never tell your new intern to write a report without showing them what last week's report looked like, right? You'd give them past examples. That is the perfect fix, and it's exactly the technique we're mastering today. Section 1. What is few-shot prompting? The apprentice fix. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's the technical definition straight from our source material. Few-shot prompting is a technique where you provide a language model with a small number of examples, or demonstrations, right there inside your prompt to guide its response. And what is so fantastic about this method is that it sits right in the sweet spot. It's the perfect bridge between zero-shot learning, where you give 0 examples and just cross your fingers, and full fine-tuning. Fine-tuning is a massive technical headache that needs thousands of data points and requires actually tweaking the model's programming. Few-shot prompting, it saves you immense time and effort because you literally only need a handful of examples to get incredible results. And when you drop those examples in, you trigger this fascinating process called in-context learning. This is where the AI learns by example, recognizing patterns directly from your prompt without changing a single line of its underlying programming. To keep it grounded, just think of it as learning by example. It's exactly like handing your coworker a partially filled out spreadsheet so they can see the exact formatting you're looking for. You're not teaching them how to use Excel from scratch, you're just showing them the pattern for this one specific task. Section 2, Under the Hood, How Learning by Example Works. So, according to the research, this learning process happens in 4 really distinct steps. First, pattern recognition. The model looks at the inputs and outputs you gave it and spots the structural link between them. Second, task inference. It has this aha moment where it figures out what the actual job is based on those patterns. Third, generalization. It takes that rule and essentially holds it in its active memory. And finally, application. It applies that brand new pattern to the unseen input you left at the very end of your prompt. It's just like a human playing a memory card game. You watch someone flip 2 cards, you recognize their matching shapes, you infer the rules, and then you apply that knowledge when it's your turn to play. Section 3, The Power of Examples, Steering the AI. And this brilliantly illustrates how we steer the model. Consider this very concrete example from the Prompt Engineering Guide about movie reviews. It's super simple but profoundly effective. In your prompt, you literally just write, input, the movie was amazing. Output, positive. Then you give it a second one. Input, I hated the acting. Output, negative. By feeding the AI these simple input-output pairs, you instantly lock it into understanding exactly how to classify sentiment. It knows you don't want a full-page review, it knows you don't want a 5-star rating system, it knows you just want a single word, positive or negative, for whatever review you hand it next. Now, a 2022 study by Min and colleagues uncovered some truly wild things about how this works. Yes, things like the label space and input distribution matter, but here is the most surprising, almost funny fact. Format consistency is the absolute key driver of performance. Get this, the AI cares so much about the format that researchers found you can give it completely random, incorrect labels in your examples, like saying the movie was amazing equals negative, and as long as your format is consistent, the AI still performs better on the final test than if you gave it no examples at all. No way, right? The structure is really that powerful. Section 4, Real-World Superpowers, Everyday Applications. Let's look at how versatile this really is. Take medical reasoning, for example. By providing a few examples of specific symptoms linked to diagnoses, you can actually guide the AI to perform logical deduction, like cleanly linking a headache and light sensitivity to a migraine, complete with an explanation. But then you can totally switch gears to creative writing. Give the AI a few examples of a gritty, suspenseful sci-fi synopsis, and it will perfectly match that exact tone for your brand new book idea. Whether you need rigid, logical deduction or highly specific creative flair, just 2 to 5 examples act as the ultimate steering wheel.
This even bleeds into highly technical fields, like programming. You can use input-output pairs to force the AI to write Python functions with proper docstrings and type hints. Even in coding, where you might assume you have to write out massive, complex paragraphs of instructions, examples are actually the very best way to enforce strict formatting rules. You literally just show it what good code looks like twice, and it will mimic that standard perfectly. So the crucial takeaway here is how you pick those examples. Here is your quick checklist, so your AI intern doesn't get confused. First, choose relevant, diverse examples. Try to cover a few different scenarios. Second, maintain perfectly consistent formatting. As we just learned from the research, that is huge. And third, avoid using too many examples. If you dump 50 examples into the prompt, the AI might suffer from something called overfitting. That's where it just blindly copies the examples instead of actually learning the underlying pattern. Keep it to that sweet spot, usually just 2 to 5 examples. Section 5, the catch, the limits of few shot. Okay, but even the best intern gets stuck sometimes, right? So I want you to ask yourself, what happens when the problem gets too hard? Imagine giving the AI a complex multi-step math equation or a really deep logic puzzle. In those cases, just showing the AI the question and the final answer simply isn't enough context. The leap from A to Z is just way too far for it to bridge simply by looking at the final destination. For simple tasks like formatting, sentiment analysis, or tone matching, few-shot works flawlessly. It's a straight line. But for complex reasoning like multi-step math or intricate logic, few-shot hits a hard ceiling. Whatever the AI learned from those simple input-output examples just isn't enough to help it succeed on a deeply complex task. When you hit that wall, you have to upgrade your technique. The next step beyond few-shot is called chain of thought prompting. This is where you don't just show the AI the final answer, you actually break the problem down and show the AI the intermediate reasoning steps. You show it the step-by-step math so it learns how to think, not just what the answer is. But hey, that is a fascinating topic for a whole other explainer. For today, though, we've just unlocked a massive upgrade to your AI toolkit. By taking just an extra 60 seconds to provide 2 or 3 clear examples in your prompt, you can transform a confused AI into a precision instrument. So I want to leave you with this to think about. Look at your own workflow. What everyday repetitive task could you automate today, right now, simply by showing the AI a few examples of exactly how you like it done? Seriously, go try it out. Experiment with your new apprentice and prepare to be amazed at what comes back. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.